Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Dakota, this is James. Today we're bringing you a nut and bolt check over, things to look at before you go out on a ride, and we're also going to talk about how to make sure that your clutch is adjusted correctly. All right, starting from the front of the bike, a big thing if you do run these fork covers, obviously you can't see what's going on. It's always good to pull these covers off and check your front axle bolt. And while you're down here, you may as well throw, I think we've got an 8 or a 10 mil Allen key there, and just check to make sure that your front caliper is tight. Another thing to keep an eye on is your fork seals. As you can see here, I am due to do my fork seals. They've been leaking for a while now, and I've actually got a bit of scoring on the tube there. So yeah, I just need to potentially get some new tubes and yeah, definitely replace the fork seals on them. Just toying up if I do some Legend inserts while I'm here or not.
Maybe some black tubes.
Maybe some black tubes. We'll see what we do.
You got plenty.
We'll see. Another good thing as well, just run some Torx bits over your hand controls here. Like, these things vibrate loose pretty easily, especially your mirrors as well. Mirrors are a big one to vibrate loose, so yeah. We always just throw an Allen key over and check your triple tree bolts down here, and your riser bolts as well. Just a good habit and a good thing to do, you know, every couple of months or so. Just have a bit of a check over. Another thing as well, especially on your Dyna, if you do have one, these engine mounts here are notorious for flogging out. It's always good to have a visual look down here and make sure there's no tearing. I literally have put this on about 600 Ks ago, so we have got a brand new one on there. And that was literally one ride, it was all right. Come back, actually we're heading out for a weekend away on the bikes, and yeah, I looked down, it was completely torn, so we had to wheel it into Bike Works, and thanks to Blair down there for letting us use his workshop, and actually ended up changing that over on the way out. Coming back kind of to the middle of the bike here, a seat's a big one. I almost lost my seat the other week. Like, it's a massive one that I usually find is just make sure your seat belt is tight. Yeah, especially if you're like playing around doing wheelies or whatever, it is a lot of stress on your seat, so it is a good thing to check. Battery terminals as well. On Dynas, these are notorious for coming loose. The amount of times people have said, oh, my bike won't start, like it was working fine and then it doesn't start. Pull the cover off, instantly they're loose. So that's always a good thing to check over as well. While you're at this point of the bike, it's always good to check your oil level as well. Throw a bot over your spanner over your air cleaner, and yeah, just a visual check. If you do have a TBR as well, these cap bolts always coming loose, always. She's pretty flogged out, this old girl, but
Ooh, a bit dirty in there.
hey, it is what it is. And then yeah, as you get to the back of the bike here, we have spoke about it on our previous bike breakdown on James's bike. Pulley bolts. Always run a spanner over your pulley bolts. That is a thing you should definitely check, probably more often than not. It is something that just always seems to happen. They snap and they actually tear out your hub and can destroy your wheel.
Or they can lock the whole rear wheel up.
Yeah, it can be very dangerous. So that is definitely a good thing to check over. And if you've got chain drive as well, keep your chain lubed up. But yeah, that's probably the stuff as far as we go, like a quick little visual check over. We don't always put spanners on it, but we definitely will check and make sure everything is good before we go out for a ride.
Probably another little one, which is going to be hard to film, but that linkage down where it meets down there is an Allen key down there, and it can, now yours is good. There is a little Allen key you can try and do up, because sometimes there's a bit of play on the shaft. This little Allen key comes loose down there, and this one's really good. Mine's actually pretty sloppy, but it is super hard to try and get an Allen key down there to nip it up. If you can nip it up, I would do it. If it's too hard, I probably wouldn't do it, because if you strip that,
That's in and out of primary oil. That's a big job.
But if you notice yours, you're moving that and you can see the shaft play going into the box, that could eliminate some feel there and make it feel a bit nicer as well. But yours is, yeah, have you had that apart?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we actually, when we did that, when I had that apart, we ran a bit of a longer bolt through there, and yeah, make sure she was pretty dialed in.
That's nice.
So yeah, we'll probably run through a clutch adjustment now. This is something that, you know, a lot of people kind of don't really know how to do, and it's something very easy and quick that you can do, and it's just a good thing, just a good peace of mind, just to know that there's no added extra stress on your clutch when you're riding, and just a good thing to get a good feel out of your clutch lever as well. All right, first off, when you're looking at your clutch adjustment, it's good to just take off any stress that is on your clutch plates. So first off, we'll back off our clutch cable. I have got an aftermarket clutch cable here, so if you do have a genuine clutch cable, the sizing is going to be different, but I've got a 7/16 here.
Is that lefty loosey, righty tighty?
Yep.
Yep, no worries.
So we'll wind down the adjuster.
So that's anti-clockwise to back it off?
To back it off?
Yep.
Yep. If you do have a stock clutch cable, I'm pretty sure the sizing is 1/2 inch. So it's a little bit different. All the slack's taken off. You can see up here, heap of slack. So you know there's no tension on your clutch at the moment. You will need, if you don't have a stand for your bike, you will need a mate or someone to hold your bike upright. We do have stands, but a lot of people don't, so we're going to show you how we do it when we don't have a stand. So we'll get James to jump in. He's going to hold the bike upright. We're going to take the inspection plate off here, off our primary cover, and then we'll show you how to back off your clutch. All right, the sizing that you will need for this is a T27 Torx bit. So we will just pull this off quickly.
Before I had a stand, when Alex was pregnant, she sat on my bike while I did this, and she started crying halfway through because of the pressure of the
No.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what it looks like with the inspection plate off. Yours, unless you do have a lock-up clutch, won't have this variator looking thing on there. You'll just see yours would just have the clutch plate there, the pressure plate. I do have a lock-up clutch in mine, so that's why it looks the way it does. For this next part, you'll need an 11/16 spanner and a 732 Allen key. What you want to do is, there's a locking nut and then an Allen key adjustment here. So you want to crack that locking nut to relieve the pressure. It is a bit of a hard thing to do when you do have a lock-up clutch. So that's free now. Your locking nut's been undone. Wind it out. Right now you've got 0 pressure on your clutch plates. To tension this, you want to wind it in, making sure that your locking nut screw is wound out far enough that it isn't going to hit the plate before you get your correct adjustment. Wind it in, it will start to grab. Once you feel it, it's only ever so slightly, once you feel it start to grab, that's where you want to go. So you want to back it off, half a turn, wind that lock nut back in. Once you've wound that back in, Put your 5/8 spanner back on there. Making sure, sorry, my bad, 11/16 spanner.
An absolute spastic.
Spastic. Making sure that Allen key doesn't move. And then you want to nip that locking nut back up. Now, we know we've got correct adjustment on our clutch plates. Once you've done that, it is good to get a rag and wipe off the residue of oil that is around your primary. Making sure your seal is still in good tack. There's no rips or tears or anything there. We're looking fine on my end. Then you can put your plate back on. And nip up those T27 Torx bits again. This is not so good. These definitely don't need to be over tight. It's good to kind of nip them up in a star-like sequence.
I've had mine leak.
Yeah. It's not a big deal, like.
I think I didn't clean because the oil goes in that little rubber seal.
Yeah.
There's heaps sitting in there. It just kept weeping out.
Once you've nipped them all up, it is good to just run around and just do a nice little foam check. Like I said, these don't need to be too tight. There would be a torque setting somewhere. I'm not 100% sure what it is though. If
You can read the brochure.
Yeah, you can read the brochure if you want to get that involved in it. So now we know that's all torqued up, nibbed up nicely. Wipe her over, make sure she's all clean. Then we'll make our way to the clutch cable now. Making our way to the cable, we'll start to take some slack out. So I usually wind it out a few times and just get the majority of the slack out. And then I'll start looking up the top here. Making sure, a good thing when you are adjusting your cable is making sure that it is located. Make sure it's not sticking out like that when you're adjusting it because you won't adjust it correctly. Make sure it's seated in there, located correctly. And then I always just nip my cable in so you can watch it as you're adjusting it out. You'll see once you are, you feel me?
Yeah.
You'll see once you are adjusting your cable out, you'll see this slowly, you see a lever start to kind of pull out as you go. Once you see it pulled out all the way, pull that lever in a few times. This is the adjustment here that we want to be looking for. Grab your cable, push that lever in. So we're probably a little bit too much free play there. So we'll take a bit more slack out the cable. Attaboy. It's getting there. Maybe another turn or two. That's pretty well on the money. Little bit of free play there. Good, firm, reactive lever. Once you have got your correct free play there and you are happy, don't forget to nip up your cable. Come back down here, wind your lock nut out. Making sure that's nipped up and tight. That's not going to loosen itself. Pull your sleeve back over. Grab your cable clip. Slap her back on there.
Ooh.
And that is how you adjust your clutch.
That's tight. Now, one thing that not everyone experiences, but I'm someone that likes my clutch pretty tight.
Yeah.
So not much free play, but that is fraught with danger. Now, sometimes you'll find, definitely more on hotter days, it gets a bit technical, but it's a good one to know because you don't always notice it and it can do some damage to the clutch, is fifth gear actually is cut in a way and has free play to move over, and it actually takes the tension out of the clutch. Yeah. So then what it's doing is when it takes the tension out of the clutch and you're making a fair bit of power or going up a hill in fifth, it actually starts flaring.
Yeah, right.
All 6 speeds do it. It's not spoken about a lot. Yeah, it's basically the way it's cut and the free play and the float it has on that, it pushes it over to that side.
Yeah.
And it literally just takes away the free play. So it's not easy to check. Obviously, hard in fifth gear, you're probably doing 160, 140 k's an hour.
Over the speed limit.
Yeah, obviously on a racetrack. But I have had mine on the racetrack slip. And I've had to back it off, and it definitely gets worse in hotter days. As even with everything good, take note that the free play will be greater as the bike heats up. Yep. So don't be worried about if it that gets a lot larger as it heats up. That will happen. If it drastically gets larger in free play, you may have another issue in hand that needs someone to pull apart and have a check. But do allow for a little bit of free play. On my bike, what I do, because I'm a little bit OCD, when my bike's hot, just so I know it's 100%, because I have had some issues in fifth, is I actually get a 10 cent or 20 cent piece. I flick it like that, and I put it into the little gap that you pull the ferrule, which we'll show you a close-up of now. So what I'm talking about is right in here. So we're pulling a little bit, only a little bit on the clutch cable, so I'm pulling this way, and we're giving it a little flick. And sometimes when it's hot, you grab a little 10 cent piece and you poke it in there, and you just see if that fits in there snug. Mine comfortably or nicely fits a 10 cent piece once it's warmed up. When it's cold, it won't. But that's my sweet spot. Also with aftermarket levers and perches, that's another story again, but the same rules apply for adjusting the clutch. Just keep that in mind. Another easier way to check your clutch if it's flaring is, it's a bit rough on the bike, but you can put it in third, load it up, give it a little clutch drop, knowing it's not going to spin the wheel, and just make sure the clutch is engaging. Obviously don't do that too many times, but that's a good way just to get on it, little flick of the clutch, make sure it doesn't flare and rev up, and it kind of just bogs down and gets into it, and pretty much good to go.
A good thing to tell as well, is your clutch engaged correctly or incorrectly? If you're at the lights and your clutch is pulled all the way in on your lever, and it's trying to creep forwards, you know it's not adjusted correctly. So that's when I'd personally back everything off, start from the start, and yeah, go from there.
Guys, thank you for watching. We really appreciate all the comments you guys have been leaving and the feedback, and subbing to our channel gives us the opportunity to continue to make these videos, make them better each time, every time. And if you do want to take this on, I hope this video helps you One, check over your bike. Two, do the proper way to adjust the clutch. And if you do have any issues, you're now a bit more educated on what you've got to do there. And stay tuned, we've got so much cool stuff coming up. I know we keep saying that, but we do. We have a giveaway coming. We're going to do some walkarounds at some local bike shops and heaps of bike breakdowns coming. That's probably going to be the next thing we probably drop, I reckon.
Yeah.
But stay tuned and drop in the comments if you want to see anything. And we have had a couple people request some trips. And what was the other one?
Yes, yeah. You guys want us to go camping. It is winter here in Adelaide right now, but it could be a good laugh. So whether or not we tick that one off in winter or we wait for the warmer weather a bit, we will definitely go camping and yeah, film that for sure. If you do have any questions on how to adjust the clutch, please drop a comment. We're happy to kind of walk through with you in a bit more detail if you do need it and you are keen to give it a shot. We are pretty on to replying comments, so yeah, don't be afraid to drop a comment. We're happy to help you out and we want you to enjoy these machines as much as what we do. So part of working on them is part of the enjoyment
100%.
about having one.
100%, it's half the fun.
It is good. We love it. Sitting in the shed, beer, bit of music on, tinker away. If you do get stuck on the video or it's not adjusted correctly, go back to the start of the video, start from scratch, and just do the steps, step by step, follow it again. You will get there. Unfortunately, things don't always happen first go, but stay consistent. And we will be dropping more videos on little things, easy things that you guys can do with just the general tools that you do have in your shed. So yeah, if there is anything that you guys do want to see, please let us know and we'll be happy to make a video on that.
And before you say it, we are doing a rear tyre change video soon because my bike is getting very close to needing one. So stay tuned for that and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.
Cheers.